Have you ever just looked at someone at the top of their game and wondered, what's the real difference? What separates the good from the truly great? Well, in this explainer, we're diving deep into Robert Greene's incredible book, Mastery, to basically unlock the blueprint for achieving your highest potential. And here's the thing, it's not about magic. It's a process. And it all starts by shattering a myth that, let's be honest, we've all kind of bought into, right? This is the big one. Are geniuses just born that way, or are they made? We love the idea of the natural-born genius, don't we? The person who's just touched by this divine spark of talent, while the rest of us just get to watch from the sidelines. But what if that whole idea is just plain wrong?
So check this out. Greene gives us this perfect example to blow that myth apart. Two cousins. On one side, you have Sir Francis Galton, a certified child prodigy with a ridiculous IQ. On the other, his cousin, Charles Darwin, who everyone thought was just a pretty ordinary kid. Darwin himself even said he wasn't very quick. But who became the superior scientist? Darwin, of course. He changed the world. Galton, the genius, kind of drifted from one thing to another and never truly mastered anything. See, Darwin's slow, patient, observant style let him see what the restless Galton just zoomed right past. And it proves a huge point. Raw intelligence is not the key to mastery.
Okay, so let's really deconstruct this whole idea of genius. The core insight from Greene's book is actually super simple. Mastery is not a gift. It's a process. This is really the heart of it all. That incredible power that masters have doesn't come from some secret, unexplainable talent. It comes from a simple, understandable process. And you know what the most important part is? That process is accessible to every single one of us. To you, to me, everyone. So, this path, this process, is laid out in 3 distinct phases. Think of it as our roadmap. First, you've got the apprenticeship. That's where you learn the rules of the game. Second is the creative active phase, where you start to experiment and make things your own. And finally, you reach the phase of mastery, where you achieve this high-level, almost intuitive understanding of your field. You know, the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche was all over this idea. He basically said, hey, do not talk about giftedness, about inborn talents. He knew that so many of history's great figures were not especially gifted. They acquired greatness. They became geniuses through sheer force of will and dedication. So where does a journey like this even begin? It starts with what is, without a doubt, the most critical first step of all, discovering what Greene calls your life's task. Now, your life's task, it's not a job title, it's not a career. It's more like a personal magnetic north, a deep, primal feeling pulling you in a specific direction. Greene says the very first move you have to make toward mastery isn't outward, it's inward. You have to connect with that force. You have to find your own compass. And honestly, there is probably no better example of someone guided by this inner force than Leonardo da Vinci. I mean, his entire life wasn't a career in the way we think of it. It was this relentless, lifelong quest, all driven by this insatiable curiosity to understand, well, everything. You can see this hidden force at work his whole life. As a kid, he wandered the countryside alone, just sketching nature. As an apprentice, he wasn't satisfied just imitating his master. No way. He was driven to invent and create his own stuff. He would buy birds in the market just so he could set them free and study their wings. Everything he did, from painting to dissecting bodies, was all part of this one, single, unifying life's task: to understand the hidden forces of the natural world. But finding your calling, that's really just the beginning. Next, you have to enter what Greene calls the most critical phase of your life, the ideal apprenticeship. This is where you stop dreaming and you start doing. This is where you submit to reality and you learn the fundamental rules of your chosen field. You've probably heard this number before, right? 10,000 hours. Research shows over and over again that it takes a massive amount of practice to get to a truly high level. But this isn't just about repetition. We're talking about a level of sustained, focused practice that literally creates a change in your brain. It actually builds thicker, faster neural pathways. So yeah, there really are no shortcuts. Greene breaks this whole apprenticeship thing down into 3 modes of learning. They kind of overlap, but you generally start by observing, then you move into practicing the skills, and finally you start to actively experiment. Okay, first up, deep observation. When you enter a new world, a new job, whatever it is, the biggest mistake you can make is trying to get attention and impress people. Your goal is the exact opposite. You need to be quiet. You need to watch. You have to absorb the reality of how things actually work, not how they say they work, but how they really work. Next comes skills acquisition. This is the practice mode. Let's be honest, this is the grind. It's repetition, a lot of it is tedious, it can be boring, but it is absolutely essential. You are literally hardwiring skills into your nervous system until they become automatic, until you have what Green calls a fingertip feel for it. It's an understanding that's deeper than conscious thought. You have to push through the frustration here. So, finally, after all that observing and practicing, you get to enter the active mode, experimentation. Now that you know the rules, you can start to bend them a little bit. You can begin to test your own ideas, to assert your own unique style. This is where you really start the transition from student to practitioner.
So how do you get through all this? Green gives some key strategies. Number 1, always value learning over money. Choose the opportunity to learn over the bigger paycheck. Keep expanding your horizons. Always revert to a feeling of humility. Always assume there's more to learn. You have to trust the process, even when it feels like you're stuck. And maybe most important of all, move toward resistance and pain. The hard stuff, that is exactly where you grow. So, what does this all really mean for you? It means that the path to your own unique version of mastery isn't some mystery that's locked away for a few chosen people. The choice to begin, well, that choice is yours. Robert Greene has literally mapped out the path that masters like Darwin and Da Vinci walked. The secret is that there is no secret. There is only a process and the choice to get started.
And look, let's be real. The process is long. It's difficult. There are no shortcuts. But this journey, it's about so much more than just getting good at something. The ultimate power of mastery is the power to fully become who you were meant to be. Every one of us has an inner force, a primal inclination that is completely unique to us. It's actually calling to you right now, in the subjects that fascinate you and the activities that make you lose all track of time. The only question left is, will you choose to listen?